Hi Class 5, welcome to another week. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend, staying safe, staying healthy, but also having lots of fun staying at home, okay? I spent a lot of time in the garden at the weekend. The weather was really nice, so I took advantage of that. But I noticed that when I was out in the garden doing all my little jobs, that I saw lots of different kinds of wildlife, little insects in the soil, there were birds in the sky, there were mammals going around the trees, and I thought to myself that it would be a good idea for us to have a little exploration, okay? Because I saw lots of things in my garden. I can even see things out the window, and even I've been watching documentaries on the TV, so everywhere around us there are different types of wildlife. So whether you're in the garden, whether you just look out the window, there might even be some in your house. You know, there might be a little spider in the corner of the room or a little fly going around, and also on TV. So what I would like you to do is have a look in your garden, in your backyards, out the window, even something on TV, or just have a think of the different kinds of wildlife that you've seen anywhere, okay? And I want you to make a list or just remember them in your head and come back, and we're going to do an exercise with that. So press pause. This might take a while. You might have this on pause for half an hour, okay? It doesn't have to be a couple of minutes. You don't have to rush around. Take your time, be careful. Try not to pick any of the insects up if you see them in your garden. You know, they might be a little bit scared if they see a giant hand coming towards them. Just leave them be in their natural habitat, but come back with a list, either on paper or in your head, of all the different kinds of wildlife that you can see. Okay? I'll see you soon. Okay, so now you've gone out in your gardens or looked out your window, had a look on TV, or even around your house to look for all of those different kinds of wildlife. Now, what I would like you to do the exercise is to see if you can put them into 4 groups. Now, in the wildlife world, there are loads of different types of groups, but for today, we are going to be looking at mammals, amphibians, insects, and birds. So, of the wildlife that you've just seen or thought of or written down, see if you can put them into groups of mammals, amphibians, insects, and birds. If you already know what those different groups are, then you can do that straight away. If you don't, hit pause, have a think, and then I'm going to tell you after. So have a think or continue with the exercise if you can do that. Okay, so just to go over what the different groups are. So mammals, if we remember from year 5 and even work that we've done in year 3 and 4, a mammal is a vertebrate. So that means that it's got a backbone, all right? And it has hair or fur. So just like I have hair, or just like a cat and a dog has fur, that is a mammal, okay? A amphibian is also a vertebrate animal, but it has slimy skin and it lives in water, okay? Insects, they have 6 legs and generally have 1 or 2 pairs of wings, all right? And birds, this one might be a bit obvious, but they have feathers, they have wings, they have a beak, and typically they can fly. Now there are birds, some birds that can't fly. If you want to have a go, you can hit pause and have a think, but there are some birds that can't fly. But those are the 4 groups that we are going to look at today. Okay, next I'm going to tell you what we're doing, okay? Okay, so now you've put them in the 4 groups. So just to reiterate, they are mammals, amphibians, insects, and birds. Once you've put them in those groups, whichever you think they are, what you're going to do is compare the life cycle of each of them. So the life cycle means how they are born and how they are looked after. Are there generally just one born, or are there hundreds and thousands, and how do they grow? So if you think of the life cycle of a human, which is a mammal, how is that different to an amphibian? Okay, how might that be different to an insect or a bird? I know one big difference from a mammal to a bird is that birds lay eggs and mammals don't. Okay, so have a think, do some research. If you are on a tablet or on your computer, do some research in the life cycle of a mammal, life cycle of an amphibian, life cycle of an insect, and also life cycle of a bird. Now, I am going to give you some examples of things that you might have seen in your garden, in your yard, out of the window, maybe even some things that you might have seen on telly, or just some things that you have seen in the past. And I'm going to give you examples of what the name of the group is, so we know it's either a mammal, amphibian, insect, or a bird. The description of that specific group, so what it looks like, what kind of characteristics it has. I'm going to give you examples of things that I have seen in my garden, especially over the weekend, and also description of the life cycle. So you can compare and look at the ones that you have on your list to the ones that I'm going to put on my list, and you can do a comparison and see if yours are similar to mine, or if you got different types of animals, different insects, different mammals, different birds, different amphibians. You might not even have got some amphibians, you might not even have got some insects, but just have a look at my table that I've created and compare them and see if you got similar ones to me, same, different, and see how well you've done in describing what the different groups are and what the life cycle of those animals are. Well done for giving this a go, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.